Authors Mark Cornelius and Traci Loecker share their experiences exploring methods for illuminating a storyline to maximize the writer reader relationship. Writers Wrestling invites you to join in on a conversation not about what to write, but about how to write. Welcome, everyone, to Writers Wrestling. And you have two writers who wrestle right here in front of you. That would be myself, Mark Cornelius, and Traci Loecker. Hi, Traci.
Hi, Mark. How are you doing?
I am blessed. And this is exciting because this is our first episode of this very new podcast. I do several different other podcasts. We won't go into that, but Traci and I are fellow writers. We really enjoy sharing and bouncing ideas off of one another. And so we thought, hey, let's try that with an audience and see if we can help them. And conversely, they can help us.
Yeah.
So we're going to share our experiences exploring methods for illuminating and storylines to maximize the writer's and reader's relationship.
Yeah.
That's important to know. So any heads up comments, Traci, off the front? Tell them a little bit about your experience with writing.
Well, I started with I've been writing my whole life. So and I've loved writing, whether it's journaling or writing for my local newspaper growing up or the school newspaper and the school yearbook, all of the above. And then I decided I wanted to write a children's book. And so I self-published that. And then I had a story on my heart that involves some work, nonprofit work I do through an organization called CASA. And so then that led me into writing a fiction novel called Because They Loved Him. So that's where I'm at now. And I'm currently working on my second novel. So.
And I'll just share with our followers here that Traci has an amazing gift for telling a story in a very direct way. I will call it, I'm going to use a word, and you may or may not agree with me, but it is raw. it's a it's a word that strikes me when I read your, and that's not a bad raw, not rough, but
Right.
it's right there. And if you get a chance, check out the book Because They
Yeah.
loved you.
Thank
Uh,
you.
oh man, it's great. So thank you for sharing that. I have also written just about all my life, but really had an epiphany about golly, 20 years ago. It seems like yesterday, but
Yes.
I was doing a blog at the time. We didn't even have the word blog, but that's what it was. And somebody said, "Hey, you ought to write a book." And I said, "What book?" But a book came out of that called Rut Management, and it's a fun look at discovering our pathway in life. And so that's how it all started. My most recent book is called Six Clicks, and that is a quite different look at reality and whose reality we really live in, ours or somebody else's, or is it shared? But that's out there also. So that brief and shameless promotional opportunity for both of us is done. So let's get out.
Well, and if I could say uh, something in regards to your writing,
Thank you.
is it absolutely allows one to look internal and how we can live better, serve better, be better. So your writing also has impacted me and so many others as well. So
Thank you. Thank you. And that's the beauty of this. We're going to come from two different perspectives.
yes.
Traci, yes, you've written a long time, but you're just recently into the
Yep.
quote unquote publishing arena.
Yep.
I've been writing for a longer time. I've had I won't say too much, but a lot of experience in the publishing area.
Mhm.
And there are things that you need to consider when you are presenting your work to other folks.
Mhm.
Uh, so, Traci, let me just ask you a question. Do you write for yourself or do you write for others?
I think it started out writing for myself because I feel like, especially my pop collection, my children's book, that initially started out just to be a Christmas gift. And then as I was able to collaborate with the illustrator and see the images come to life, I realized, okay, I do want to get this printed. Now, when it came to the novel, I felt that in my heart that God was leading me to write something to try to promote change within some of our programs that we have within, Department of Social Services, within CASA, the relationship between us and the Native Americans. And so that's where then that became not just for me, but hopefully to reach others as well. What about you?
I started out writing for myself. I was very selfish. um, but for a purpose of self exploration.
Mhm.
And it was not long after I started doing this that somebody said, "Hey, can I?" Or I shared it with my wife, and then she shared it with another person. They said, "Hey, can you put me on your?" At that time, it was an email list, not a blog or anything like that. And I'm thinking to myself, what email list? I have no email list. This is not meant to be shared. This is me. This is mine.
Mhm.
And then suddenly I realized that's not actually the reality of it.
Mhm.
When you write, if you share it with anyone, then you're writing for both you and an audience or a readership.
Yeah.
Uh, so I'm right with you there, and that's what we're going to explore today. Because if any of you out there, by the way, fiction and nonfiction, I write both, and so does Traci, fiction and nonfiction. But if you are thinking to yourself, well, I really don't care what other people think. I'm just writing for me. That's great. Uh, Fair enough. And then the other side of that is, don't expect when you share your book or your writings that people are going to go, oh, wow. They may or may not. You may just have this natural gift.
Yeah.
What I found is that my natural gift, which I thought was so beautiful and so, self-exploring, when I shared it with others, they said, have you considered trying this? It might be a little more direct or more clear to people. And at first I was going, how dare you? You know,
Mhm.
how dare you say that to me? This is my personal writing,
Yeah, it's like my baby. My
This
writing
is
is like
my
my baby.
baby. And yeah, okay, fine. We have the baby going there, but don't think that others are gonna love your baby as much as you do.
Right.
So I had to take an honest look and came back and said, okay, I do want to share this. So I need to be very alert to what people are seeing. And that's what we're going to be talking about here. Lots of self-help and writing portals out there. We're not the first. Difference is we focus primarily on helping others and ourselves craft our written images.
Yeah.
Um, your written images, folks, are your gateway to effectively communicating your story with other people, and no other person can do it as well as you. However, if you want to have a shared readership, you need to make sure you're on the same playing field.
Yeah.
Uh, so lots of sites out there. By the way, we are not here to get you picked up by Macmillan or the Random Houses of the world. Uh, we may or may not address the idea of publishing a little later on. Right now, we're just into writing for the sake of writing. And that's my passion. I have a favorite, uh, I guess, adage: I can't not write. So I hope that you also feel that passion. Um, we're going to encourage you to publish, maybe, but more, we're going to just help you to share your story a little bit more. Along the way, we'll share our own stories like we're doing today. And, if you find merit in them, great. If you don't, God bless you. Doesn't matter. But uh, will this help you sell books? Can't tell you that. It will help you for sure in writing and communicating at the highest level
Yep.
of skill and sincerity that you have. That's an absolute, because I can tell you from my own personal experiences is, looking in the mirror is one thing, looking in a mirror with everybody else, that's another story.
Yep.
So that's really what we're going to be doing in these, and we look forward to doing it with you and sharing it with you. Um, by the way, if you're not a writer, don't write us off just yet. Our discussions will be applicable to other art platforms, videography, film, vocal expressions, oration, music,
Yep.
photography, yada yada, continued on. So if you have an art form and you want to polish it in a way that you believe will help others to appreciate your writing, this is the place. This is the place. We're going to no holes barred from that standpoint. Traci, I've talked a lot. You want to say anything?
No, just I'm excited to do this, and I, when I still do. I still listen to podcasts. I still want to, glean from information from other writers, and I love this collaboration, and if we can help just one person, I'd say we're on the right track. So
Absolutely. We will get more sophisticated with this later to where I can pop up some screenshots that will help you.
awesome.
And the other thing I will tell you about our podcast is we are going to try faithfully to be the 15-minute podcast.
Mhm.
We could go longer. We could talk all day about this stuff because we both love it.
So we could.
But we want to be practical about this for your sake and ours. And so each bite will have something to do with a particular subject and story matter. And if you have suggestions for that, we're all ears. That being said, we are nearing the 15-minute mark.
I think we did great.
Well, let's find out if we get any reactions to this. Maybe they'll tell us. Okay. But I think we did great too. So there's two. Thank you all and one and all for your patience and interest. And we look forward to hearing from you. And we'll alert you when these are up for new episodes. Take
Awesome.
care and write on.
Agree. Thanks, Mark.
Thanks for joining Writers Wrestling. Feel free to communicate with us with questions, reactions, and suggestions. You can also visit our websites for more information.